Thanks to the Chair and to the committee for allowing me in on this discussion. Look, I have to say I think we're in a pretty grim and tragic situation here. We're coming up to the budget where I would like to be, and I will indeed, regardless of all of this, argue that we are not putting enough public investment into arts and culture generally, and that includes public service broadcasting. And we are way below the European average in the investment in those things, and indeed the budget was cut last year, disgracefully in my opinion. And that's what we should be here debating, is the need for more investment in arts, culture, public service broadcasting and the people who make those things happen. But instead we're on the back foot because of a scandal around a small group of people at the top of the public service broadcaster being paid absolutely excessive salaries, secret payments to top up those salaries, and an array of allowances that it's being generally acknowledged are excessive. Now, the question really is, how are we going to get out of this hole? Because the worst of all things has now happened. The exact thing that shouldn't have happened is that the people who are in no way guilty in any of this are now the collateral damage. Namely, the public who, because of the announcement we've heard today, are now going to suffer, and I'd like to hear commentary on this. If there is a recruitment freeze, that means the quality of public service broadcasting is now going to decline as long as that remains the case. If what the journalists are telling us is true, and I believe it is true, that we don't have enough people on news teams and so on, that we need more staffing in those frontline areas, then that means already the quality of public service broadcasting is now threatened with being degraded. So the public is going to lose. That's an absolutely unacceptable situation. And now digital services are being mentioned, precisely an area we need more investment in. Now, my question is this, right? Given that it was all about those excessive salaries, shouldn't you have come in today with proposals for salary caps? Because that would address one of the key areas, salary caps, at the top. When I look at the detail, and I accept the GDPR point about the 100 top people, but we could get more information. If you look at public service, public sector pay, you get grades, you get roles, and you get the salaries associated with them. So there is transparency around those things. We have not got that level of information. The public is entitled to it if we are going to develop a new funding model. So I would ask you to seriously consider that. And lastly, I would ask you to seriously consider the question of, you know, if I hear the numbers correctly on the bogus self-employment, because the contrast between the way the majority of workers are being treated and what was happening at the top level of RTE, if I hear the figures right, the majority of people who have fought cases against RTE on the question of being wrongly categorised as self-employed have won their cases. So why was RTE resisting them when clearly they were employees and should have been treated as employees? Why was RTE spending a lot of money, why is it still spending a lot of money, resisting the rights of, if you like, the frontline workers who actually create the content? So I would ask you to address that.
Okay.
Sorry, is that me?
Yes, I think so. Is it?
Is it me? Yeah.
Yeah. And you have 1 minute.
Yeah. Okay, I'll try and keep it short. There's a lot to address there.
Sorry.
He used it himself. Go on ahead.
No, look, Deputy, I hear and I understand and agree with a lot of your anger there. And I think I've said to you, my long-term gain is to protect the people who do the job day in, day out at RTE, and to not have to get to a position where we get anywhere near anything like compulsory redundancies, which is why I have to take early action now in terms of managing the cash. I don't disagree with you at all. I mean, it is frustrating in the extreme, as you've seen for me, that a small number of people have inflicted this on an organisation which has huge value to most people in the country. And, all I can focus on is delivering transparency, tackling iniquities and inequality where I see it in the organisation. And I know the leadership team are fully on board for that. and delivering a better organisation that's more accountable to people. And I do understand, for licence fee payers, for many licence fee payers, €160 is a lot of money, and you're making choices sometimes between, do you spend it on the licence fee or do you spend it on school uniform? Some people are forced down those choices, but I would just ask people to look at what they actually are getting from RTE and our value and the changes we're trying to make. And I'll do everything I can to continue making the case and to continue giving presenting an RTE that is worth investing in.
Okay. Thank you very much.